Good morning, Mount Olive Church. I want to talk to you this morning about Job 42:10, and then flipping your Bibles to John 13. I want you to read that with me, please. As we do this Monday morning devotion, it is snowing outside. We hope everyone's feeling safe and staying warm. But yesterday during the sermon, Job 42:10 really stuck with me through the night. And it says, "And the Lord turned the captivity of Job after he prayed for his friends, and the Lord gave him twice as much as he had before." I thought about that verse. So the Lord turned the captivity of Job, and that was one point of the sermon. But we also see it was when he prayed for his friends. And so I said yesterday, it was like there was this roof, and God had the answer just sitting on that roof waiting for Job to pray for his friends. And then as soon as he prayed for his friends, the way I see it is God brought the restoration. And so the point of that was, when you're going through suffering, when you're going through trials, one thing that helps you overcome that adversity, one thing that helps you in the dark night of the soul, is to actually serve someone else. We told the story of Katie on the mission trip, how that she was sick with some type of cold or flu, and she was not able to go with the team for the first day or so. And we reached out to all the area pastors, and they prayed for Katie, but she still was running a little bit of a temperature. And so that second day, when the team went out, Katie said, "I decided to pray for the team." And in that moment, it was like a light switch flipped, and I started feeling better. So I can just see how that all the prayers of all the pastors and all the people for Katie, the answer was there on the way, but she activated that answer when she decided to serve someone else by praying for them. And that's what Job did. And I thought that's, I really like that. I like that point of what God brought out yesterday, and it reminded me of John 13. And that point is simply, when you go through adversity, when you go through suffering and trials, look to serve someone else. If you're walking through depression, look to serve someone else. If you're walking through loneliness, look to reach out and serve someone else. And so that reminded me of John 13. I'll read this and we'll be done this morning. But if you think of John 13, it's the situation is Jesus is ready to go to the cross. Jesus, this is his last night with his disciples. They're getting ready to go through trials and troubles and tribulations. They're getting ready to go through the dark nights of the soul. They're going to have anxiety and worry and depression. And so what did Jesus do? This is so important. What did Jesus do to minister into their hearts? Well, the Bible said he took up a towel and he began to serve them and wash their feet. The King of Glory, the Lord of Lords, began to serve his disciples by washing their feet on the last night that he would see them. And so they couldn't understand why he did this. This was the job of a slave. But yet Jesus performed this task for them. And they were so confused. The night before they would see him die, they're so confused at why Jesus would do this. Of course, they didn't know he was going to die. But Jesus knew it. And so Jesus washed their feet. They're confused. And here's what Jesus says. Read this with me, John 13:11, at the end of that verse. Or at verse 12. "Know ye not what I've done to you? You call me Master and Lord, and you say, well, for I am so. If I then, your Lord and Master, have washed your feet, ye also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example that you should do as I have done. Verily I say unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord, neither he that sent greater than he that sent him." Look in verse 17. "If you know these things, happy are ye when you do them." There it is. There's a secret of happiness. There's a secret of contentment when you decide to serve someone else. Wash their feet. Pray for them. Encourage them. Go by and take them a meal. Call them up and say, "Hey, do you need somebody to talk to?" But if you're walking through a hard spot, if you're walking through a trial, let me encourage you. Take the example of Christ. Wash somebody else's feet. Serve them this week. Serve the Lord in his kingdom. And know that in that, I believe that you're going to come forth out of your adversity with a blessing. Have a great, great snow day, Mount Olive Church.